Dog owners of Reddit, what is a time your dog saved your skin? When I was around 10 years old, I was out playing in the snow. I lived in a really wooded area with a large yard. It wasn't uncommon to see deer, turkeys, groundhogs etc. in my area, and they are never hostile, usually just run away. So in the thick of a snowstorm, I was walking toward the more densely wooded area of my yard and encountered a buck. It seems huge in hindsight, almost monstrous. It lunged towards me, and I yelled for my dog Buddy, who came running to scare the buck off. I was so thankful. I don't really know what the buck could have done, but as a kid I was very scared and thankful for my dog's quick response. Guy shows up at our house, which was in the middle of nowhere, late in the evening. I greet him at the front door and try to get rid of him, but he keeps sticking around and wanting to come in. I had a young Alaskan Malamute girl at time, Alyeska, and she was usually sweet and friendly to guests. But Ali did not want this guy around, and it was all I could do to restrain her from jumping through the door to go after him. As Ali got more riled up, he got very nervous and left. In retrospect, I'm sure Ali saved me from a bad guy. My dog Stuart saved my life when I was only 6 years old. My family owns a lot of land, and right near our house is a moderately sized river. Growing up, I would always play in and around it without issue. Well, one year, when I was only 6 years old, a pair of swans moved in nearby. We don't know where they came from, but they made their nest fairly close to where I would normally play. Now, for those of you who don't know, swans are very territorial when nesting, and very dangerous. As in, break a fully grown man's leg and seriously hospitalize him. Dangerous. This same swan did in fact do this to our neighbor a week later. I was only 6 years old. An animal that strong could have easily killed me. Well, one day I was playing down by the water as usual, and this swan starts running at me out of nowhere. It was huge, and much, much faster than I was. I tried to run away, but there was no hope for me. That is, until Stuart came in. This 1-year-old collie was the sweetest, nicest, most playful animal ever. He would never hurt a soul. Or so I thought. With this swan quickly closing in on me, he grabbed it by the neck and began fighting it. They tussled for a few moments, but there was no fight to be had whilst Stuart had his jaws around this thing's neck. It eventually ran away, and both my dog and I were unharmed. He saved my life. Unfortunately, my buddy Stuart only made it to 5 years old. He developed a skin disease that couldn't be helped. He'll always be my good boy, as well as my savior. Not my dog but my ex-boyfriend's. I was walking her at night by myself and suddenly she started to growl and Saturday in front of me. A man walked over to us and asked me to use my phone, and she was getting angrier and snarling at this point, which was super out of character for her. I said no, and went inside. 2 days later he was arrested for stabbing a woman in our apartment complex. I'm 41 now and live in that neighborhood.